Hey, all right, Shalom, Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakodash. I want to say your double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, we're some of those men and women. Hey, I'm my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson is a reply lesson. Salaki, I got to pull it up. Just bear with me. Give me a second. Share screen. Yep. This is a reply video to this video right here done by the El Yorakar Yaquam from the UK, from the GMS London, which is his page is GMS Fear the Most High 7 God. Okay. And in his video, he was talking about, how these special forces, military soldiers, what is the same thing? How these special forces dudes are demons. And in order to be part of the elite of Esau's military, you have to be a straight up evil person, a psychopath, a sociopath. You have to be psychotic to be a part of his super elite, because you're going to be tasked to do things and you can't question it. And that's what the military is all about. One thing, so my response is going to be pretty much talking about how all of this is propaganda. And the elder speaks about it in this video, how what you see in regards to the military, whether it be commercials, whether it be advertisement, whether it be them, standing at games and whatever, all that is part of publicity, right? To keep the eyes of the people off of what Esau is really doing. Because the United States military is not an army or military about freedom and liberty. It's not about that at all. It's about conquering. It's about stealing. It's about killing and destroying. And that's what the military does, right? America's military is the teeth of the beast, right? Of that beast system, the Roman system all over again. America is the military faction of it. You got three factions of the beast system. You got the economic system, which is headed out of the city of London. Then you have the religious arm, which is headed out of the city or Vatican City. All right. And then you have the military arm, which is headed out of Washington, D.C. All right. And this military arm is not used to bring people freedom, right? Because all these people that America is fighting with at one point in time, their government, the higher ups and politicians were friends with these puppet leaders like Saddam Hussein, like Muammar Gaddafi, at one point Assad, Bashar, the guy from Syria. And these are some of the ones that you hear about in today's time, right? Even Osama bin Laden. Right? Osama bin Laden supposedly was a CIA asset, right? And then all of a sudden they just turned on him and they just did whatever because they wanted to push their program. This whole war on terrorism was a propaganda war, right? It was a propaganda war or propagandized war. With the hidden deal was to do what? Was to take over the resources in Afghanistan as well as Iraq. And you had many people come out at the end and say, if it wasn't no oil in Iraq, they wouldn't have been in Iraq, right? If it wasn't some net or resource to take. Now, that don't sound like freedom and liberty to us, but what was sold to us was weapons of mass destruction. What was sold to us was Saddam Hussein is doing all of this stuff to his people. And whether he was doing it or not, Esau been letting him get away with it until it was time for them to take him out. And they just made him the boogeyman. So it's all propaganda, right? So the elder Rokoya Kwame had asked me to pretty much give my perspective on this video. I was in the military for about 15 years altogether. I wasn't high up in the ranks, but I've seen a lot and I witnessed a lot, right? And some things I witnessed is that you cannot be righteous in the military and think that you're going to go all the way. You have to be totally dedicated to the army, Marines, Navy, Even these special units, the Green Berets, the recons, the Rangers, the sniper, all these, you got to be totally dedicated to Esau's system, right? Whatever he tell you to do, you're gonna have to execute. All right. Even if you see something wrong, right? You're not gonna have an opportunity to be objective about it. You're not gonna have to. If you try to call yourself standing up, they're gonna make you a pariah, right? They're all about lying, stealing, and killing, because this is Esau's army, right? This is a part of Satan's angels, all right? It's his military. On top of, you got his Air Force, but these soldiers, these well-equipped murderers, because that's all they are, right? They call this guy right here kept saying about how they kill 50 people a night, but they were trying to kill an organization. But a lot of these organizations that they're killing were created by their own very government through clandestine organizations like the CIA and other clandestine organizations. And when you start talking like this, now we're conspiracy theorists. Now we're people who are on the fringes of society who think we know, but we don't know. And that's not true. That's not true at all. When you see how these people move and how the military move, all right, you'll realize, if you were part of the military, you'll realize that there's nothing righteous with that shit. So the whole thing about being a super soldier for America and proud to be American, like that Toby Keith, which he just not too long ago died. He had a song called "He's Proud to Be American," right? Let me see that. I ain't gonna pull it up right now, but he had a song called matter of fact, let me pull it up, because it's all about propaganda, right? Salaki. Which he just made a whole bunch of money putting out propaganda music, man. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. Let me get this. I was gonna share the video first, but let me just bear with me, brothers. Okay, I'm trying to share this. He had a guy named Toby Keith, right? He could have been an EMI, could have been a Jake, but I know he was proud to be an American, man. And they play this song over and over all the time, especially during the height of the Iraqi war, the war on terrorism. So his is like courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, the angry American. It says American girls and American guys will always stand up and salute. We'll always recognize when we see Old Glory flying. There's a lot of men dead, so we can sleep in peace at night, and we lay down when we lay down our heads. And that's what most people think. When you join this military, you're defending a righteous cause, right? And like the elder said in this video, it's a difference between righteously killing somebody and murdering somebody. King David, right, and mighty men was righteously executing judgment on these heathens that were coming up against us, all right? And the Lord allowed them to take over these nations, right? They wasn't just killing for the sake of killing, right? And they, like the elder said in this video, King David's mighty men, they were real warriors, man, right? Esau's not a warrior, right? Because a lot of the things that he does is underhanded. He coming at you for righteousness' sake. He ain't coming at equal force. He's not fighting people because they did something to him. Mainly, he's the aggressor, right? And when the Lord was dealing with King David and his mighty men, we were taking over. We were moving through these nations like a knife through butter, and we had spiritual powers back then, right? If you think if Esau had that kind of spiritual power, he would be executing righteous judgment, doing what the Lord told him to do? No, he wouldn't do that, right? He'll be trying to make himself king like he does today. So this is propaganda. This whole song right here, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, is a propaganda piece. And there's many propaganda piece. It says, my daddy served in an army where he lost his right eye, but he flew a flag out in the yard to the day that he died. He wanted my mother and my brother, my sister and me to grow up and live happy, right? So while you're living happy here in America, people, other nations are living in misery because of what these militaries have done to them. Not only the main forces, the ones you know about, but the super elite forces from the special forces, the Navy SEALs, right? They send them men to do clandestine operations in places where they don't want to be seen, right? They can actually create a whole army with 12 people, right? They can train some people efficiently in how to be a proxy army for the American, right? While you're living happy, children are being bombed, men and women and children are being bombed to hell and back, all for the sake of what? So-called freedom in America. But you're not even free here. So it says, my daddy served in the army where he lost his right eye, but flew a flag out in their yard to the day that he died. He wanted my mother, my brother, my sister, and me to grow up and live happy in the land of the free, right? And this is propaganda, right? Now this nation that I love has fallen under attack. This is right after the 9/11 attacks, which was all set up. You start talking like that, they call you conspiracy theorists. But it was all set up. It was a plot to get the people into more further subjugation. Because what happened after 9/11? Complete lockdown of America. And draconian laws popped up. Look up the Patriot Act. Now, this nation that I love has fallen under attack. A mighty sucker punch came flying from somewhere in the back. Soon as we could see clearly through the big black eye, man, we lit up your world like the 4th of July. They blew up Afghanistan. They blew up Iraq. They blew, you know what I mean? And then they don't tell you that they were using it. That whole thing was a cover for many things. For the United Nations to create, United Nations, for NATO to create bases around other countries that they wanted to attack. So you got bases in Afghanistan, you got a ton of bases in Iraq. So guess what? They can move over to Iran with no problem, if and when need be. And they already got stations where they can mobilize at. Right? Uncle Sam put your name on the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And the eagle will fly, man. It's gonna be hell when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell, and it feels the whole wide world is raining down on you. Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Right? So that's propaganda. All of this shit is complete propaganda, because America is not about liberty and freedom and justice for all. It's not about that at all. Right? And if you serve in the military, you realize that. When I was a kid, there was a movie called Boys in the Hood that came out, and there was a line in the movie said, "The army is no place for a black man." Right? And everybody was running around saying that when it came out, but then that was a tag that was given from the men that went to go fight in the Vietnam War. It was a racist environment. It was a hostile environment to the very soldiers that they called to defend this fucking place. And our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, we've been defending America since we got here, since America was established. You go back to the Revolutionary War. You go to the Civil War. You fighting for the. You go to the war, the Korean War, World War I, World War II. Right? The same army that caused you to kill for it, shed blood for it, will never shed blood for you, but will shed your blood. Right? Also, these people can live under the red, white, and blue. Right? So this is all propaganda. Right? And it's the same thing with the special forces. Okay? It's propaganda. Salaki. I don't want to rather mischief. I just want to get this precept. Salvation of the Elect posted Psalms 140:1. The chief musician of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Which, imagine mischief in his heart continually are they gathered together for war. And that's Esau. This is Esau Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the Rothschilds and all the rest of their ilk. Right? This is how they act. This is how they do things. They're a violent people. But then they'll put that stigma on the Israelites and call us violent, because they'll see the shit that Jake is doing to one another, how they're being consumed in their iniquities and sin. They'll call us violent, but Esau is the most violent man on the earth, man. Right? During the Vietnam War, them people were telling Jake to leave. So, brother, get out. This ain't your war. But once you over there, you over there. It ain't like you can put your weapon down and say, you know what, we just leave and they don't want us here. We gone. You couldn't do that. You had to fight. Same thing in Iraq. That wasn't our war. It was like smelly butt uh, uh what's his Smedley Butler. He said that. He said all wars are bankers' wars, man, and there are. While you think you're fighting for freedom, you're killing, stealing, destroying, and raping for the elite. And then they got something called plausible deniability, so they could just wash their hands of it like it never happened. Because they weren't down there doing it, but like Henry Kissinger said, he called what? Henry Kissinger um uh, he said what? Soldiers are military men are dumb and stupid animals. Right? That was his quote. Right? This is from Goodreads, right? .com. It says this is a quote from Henry Kissinger, right? Who was a what? He was the Secretary of State. And this is what the elite believe about military men and women, and that includes them special forces people. Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy, man. So while you think you fighting a war for freedom's sake, you really fighting for foreign policy of the elite, right? That's all you're doing. Okay, you're killing, you're murdering, you're stealing, and destroying, right? There's nothing loyal, there's nothing righteous, there's nothing honorable about Esau or his military, right? And you're gonna see that in this video that the elder had put together, right? This small hat, he looked at military men as dumb and stupid, and you never see the super wealthy, the elite, their children in these fucking militaries, bro. I believe David Rockefeller was in the military, but he was going around the world doing clandestine shit, playing soldier, man. They play soldier while they keep the poor fighting for them, thinking that they're fighting for a righteous cause, but in reality, you're fighting to destroy your own selves, man, and to propagate Esau's wickedness on the earth, man. Right? And that's not how a military is supposed to be ran and operated. Salakia. I don't know what's going on. Salakia. I mean, I thought I had shared this military men. Let me read that again because I don't think people got to see it. Salakia. Where the hell am I? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why they ain't changing. Y'all just bear with me, brothers. Okay. Stop sharing. Y'all didn't get to see that. Let me just bear with me, brothers. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm trying to share this screen right here. Yeah. So again, Henry Kissinger, if I can find it, I have to find it again. Yeah, Henry Kissinger again. He had a quote. This is from Goodreads.com, and it says, "Military men are just dumb, stupid animals to be used as pawns in foreign policy." And again, that's all you are to this man, right? You're in these militaries, and you think that you're doing a righteous cause by defending America and its so-called honor and its prestige. In reality, you're just another tool used to take over another country's resources, to enslave their population and destroy their land. That's all they got you doing. Okay, you're not set up to be a righteous. You're not a righteous force like King David and his mighty men. We were a righteous force back then. Hey, y'all bear with me for a quick second, brother. I'll be right back. Hey, Salaki about that. I had to go do something real quick. Yeah, but I had to go do something real quick. Salaki about that. So so again, this is how the elite politicians view its service members, and then they'll play off of that when it's time to get reelected. When it's time to show face, they'll act like they're so patriotic, but in reality, they could care less about its military men, right? There's a precept where it speaks about the Lord hating a man of war suffering poverty. There's a lot of military soldier veterans who come home from war and are are homeless, are sick, hurt, and they're living in the streets. This is Ecclesiasticus 26 and 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and a third maketh me angry: a man of war that suffereth poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Lord prepareth such, and one for the sword. Let's look at this in the GNT, Sirach 26 and 28. Okay, Sirach 26 and 28. Come on, man. Shit. Sirach 26 and 28. In the GNT, it says, there are two things that make me sad, and a third makes me angry: a soldier who has become poor, intelligent people who are not respected, and a righteous person who turns to evil. The Lord will punish such a person with death. All right. And so here it is. We live in the so-called one of the wealthiest countries on the planet Earth, but yet you have soldiers that did Esau's bidding. They killed, destroyed, they lied, they raped, they did all of this to Esau, and then he'll have them in a fucking poorhouse, right? He'll call them rejects. He won't give them services. He won't provide any help for them. That's what he does, man. King David didn't do that to his mighty men. And you want the war of King David, you came up and you survived through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. That was a victory in many ways for you, bro. And what was our people doing? We were really defending our nation. We were being established as a nation, right? The Lord was establishing us as a nation because these nations that were around about us were our enemies, right? Jake wasn't just shooting and killing just to be killing, and it wasn't a propagandized war, right? We didn't have to propagandize to take you over, because that propaganda is part of what they call it. It's called propaganda. Is like it's a part of warfare, but it's more subtle and mentally, right? So they create this image around their enemy so that you don't look at the enemy as a person, right? They'll create this image around a threat to have you support it. And we didn't have to do that in the ancient world. So I want to play a little bit of this video. I know I've been doing a lot of talking. Let me play a little bit of this video. Hopefully, brothers will be edified. Give me a second. I got to stop sharing it and then re-share it again so you can see it. Right here. Right.
Gotta resonate for you to understand. That's why I tell you, if you're not that dude,
these men are no different. They love the blood. The people shall spoil thee because of men's blood. And he's uncivilized with it. But the propaganda got people thinking that he's civilized. He ain't civilized. He's no different, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The propaganda had you thinking that Esau's military is civilized. That's why when you see, it's like they'll prosecute somebody that's lower rank in the military, and lower rank don't just mean an E4 and below, but even from the NCOs to some officers, they'll prosecute them for the same shit that the super soldiers are doing, special forces are doing, whether that be raping, murdering. And you gotta be a psychopath to be in that military and doing that kind of shit. You see a lot of these super, we used to call them super hood soldiers. He just wanted to be a super killer. He want to shoot shit and keep it moving because the propaganda that's pushed behind the military is kill a bunch of people. You basically got a get out of jail free card. You know, like the MI6 dude, James Bond. He had a license to kill. That's what, and people, they get off on that. They start killing and they just want to keep killing and killing. And that's what they do. They're a bunch of fucking murderers, bro. All because of propaganda. And then if you're crazy enough, they'll put you into the special units, right? Who got gloves off, unless you go do something crazy. The elder had mentioned this guy named Pat Tillman, right? Pat Tillman, he got put to death by his own people. I think he was a ranger. He got put to death by his own unit. He died by fratricide, and then they tried to cover it up. And he was a former NFL player. All right, but he was like, when he seen the bullshit that was going on, he was like, "Oh fuck that," and he was going to expose it, and they got him up out of here.
All right.
But from a serial killer. Serial killer gets a thrill of ending a life. Well, let me tell you, in special operations, that life leads to an organization. Okay, so it's on a whole different level. But we're talking about 50 people a night,
and they love the killing. Just like when you go into these different gangs, you get guys that don't feel right unless they're killing somebody. They get a thrill from murder. These men are no different. They love the blood. They get a taste for it. They don't feel like themselves unless they're out there killing people.
Yeah, and that's why the scripture says, since thou hast not hated blood, I will prepare a bloodbath for thee. Esau, he don't shy away from shedding blood, whether it be innocent or guilty. He don't care. He just loves blood. He's just a killer. That's what he loves, man. But then they'll make this dude out to be a fucking saint, when really he's just Satan.
And hearing people scream and beg for mercy, they love to hear people begging. They become sadistic, demonic.
Guys are sleeping like babies, knowing that they're doing the country's work. I just want you guys to it's got to resonate for you to understand. That's why I tell you, if you're not that dude and you're trying to go down that pipeline, you ain't gonna make it. Okay, you just ain't gonna make it. The system is built such that it weeds out all of the do-gooders, all of the guys.
And that's absolutely right. I actually faced that myself, because I was standing up for soldiers and for moral purposes, and then they made me the fucking enemy, bro. That happened to me, right? That ain't the reason why it was all over, but the point of the matter is that I experienced that. All they want you to do is shut up, keep your head down, no matter what's going on, and just take orders and keep moving. Right? It ain't about doing good. A righteous man wants to do good. A wicked man don't want to do good. And Esau is the wicked. How could you ever think that his military was a righteous army, a righteous military? Hell no. He's the wicked. So his military is going to be wicked. Right? They're going to do nothing but wicked. There's nothing but wickedness go on in the military, man. It's extremely racist. It's extremely segregated on a lot of levels, right? It's not something that where they're going to allow you. Only way you're going to move up in that military, it ain't going to be by doing righteousness and being honest, the honest guy, man. You got to kiss a lot of ass. You got to be a political. You got to be very political, right? You got to go with the flow. Whatever Esau tell you, that's what he wants. He don't want somebody that's going to question why the authority is doing particular things. He don't want somebody that's going to say, you know what, this is not right. I'm going to report it, because go ahead and try it. And they got all kinds of mechanisms to stop you. And then they'll make you into a pariah. And then you're out of here.
See? They don't want no do-gooders, man. But in the movies, they're all do-gooders, right? You know, they're risking their life for children, and they're all do-gooders. They don't because the movies, remember, the popular media is all an extension of the same beast. So the CIA and Hollywood, the military and Hollywood, it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. So they have to portray the American military a certain way in the movies. And they're always in these TV series, and they're always portrayed as heroes on the most part. And the guys that are doing bad things,
if you're not that dude and you're trying to go down that pipeline, you ain't gonna make it. Okay, you just ain't gonna make it. The system is built such that it weeds out all of the do-gooders, all of the guys that are unwilling.
See, they don't want no do-gooders, man. But in the movies, they're all do-gooders, right? You know, they're risking their life for children, and they're all do-gooders. They don't because the movies. Remember the popular media is all an extension of the same beast. It's all the CIA and Hollywood, the military and Hollywood. It's all interconnected. It's all interconnected. So they have to portray the American military a certain way in the movies, and they always and in these TV series, and they they're always portrayed as heroes on the most part, and the guys that are doing bad things are always portrayed as that's like an oddball. He's an odd person out. He's a villain. No, if you're the noble person, that's the odd one out, and they get kicked out. They want the ruthless dudes, man, especially when you're getting up to the special forces. But in these films, they always make the special forces guys look like they're these good, noble, moral people. They're not.
Oh my God. Oh shit. Oh man, it's the water, brother. Damn, man, this is crazy. I'm over here talking, running my mouth, man. I'll go. Hey, I'm sorry, brothers. Yeah, this ain't nothing but Satan, bruh. It ain't nothing but Satan, man. It ain't nothing but Satan, man. They don't want the truth to come out. So let me go right. Let me read it again. So anyway, oh my goodness, man, ain't nothing but Satan, bruh. Trying to get something going, and then here it is. We 8 and 9 minutes out. It's nothing but the devil, man. Salakia, brothers. This man is a devil, bruh. And I didn't even mute that. I muted it. I don't know why I muted. This shit is crazy, bro. Anyway, let me replay this. Let me play this. Salakia, brothers. I don't know what happened. I don't know how that happened. How the fuck how they go and meet this thing, man? This man's a devil, bro.
I just want you guys to it's got to resonate for you to understand. That's why I tell you, if you're not that dude and you're trying to go down that pipeline, you ain't gonna make it. Okay, you just ain't gonna make it. The system is built such that it weeds out all of the do-gooders, all of the guys that are unwilling.
See, they don't want no do-gooders, man. But in the movies, they're all do-gooders, right? You know, they're risking their life for children, and they're all do-gooders. They don't because the movies. Remember the popular media is all an extension of the same beast. It's all the CIA and Hollywood, the military and Hollywood. It's all interconnected.
Right, and absolutely, and that's what I was bringing out the last 10, 20 minutes, and then the sound ended up going off. But I was trying to show how the military uses Hollywood to glamorize and propagandize its military in its war, right? Right. I had said this earlier, but I'll read this. And it's no marvel for Satan himself to transform into an angel of light. And they transformed this guy into a Satan. Esau made himself an angel of righteousness when he's not. He don't have no righteous bone in his body, right? He doesn't have it in him to do what's good in the sight of Yahweh Bashemel Rashad, right? So his propaganda machine is a machine of lies, robbery, deceit. This is what he does. All right. So I had brought out earlier, and I'll bring it out right now and again. So there's a guy named Audie Murphy, right? And I want to read this real quick. They use this guy. Come on, man. Come on. Stop playing, bruh. This shit don't make no sense, bruh. Salakia, brothers. I don't know what the hell is going on. How the hell did this happen? Anyway, there's a guy named Audie Murphy, and he has a board in the military. They call it the Audie Murphy board. And you got to go and recite this dude's life, basically to try to pass it and shit. And so you can get some kudo points in the military. But this guy, they used him as a propaganda tool during World War II, right? And during the Korean War to recruit more soldiers, right? So this dude, mind you, was 16 years old, right? And you can look at him. They said he had PTSD, which I'm sure he probably had, but this dude was basically unscathed in this war. He supposed to kill all these people, and he didn't really do that, right? But back then, they didn't have the internet, so the internet couldn't expose the truth. And then this guy, he wasn't an honorable man anyway, so he wasn't going to tell him, like, no, I didn't really do that. This dude went from a private to like a first lieutenant or some shit like that, because everybody got killed. So it says Audie Murphy was used as propaganda, just like they used Jessica Lynch during the time of the Iraq War. This is when I was over there in Iraq, right? I actually met her boyfriend at the time, and her unit was actually in front of my unit when we were driving to Iraq, and they took the wrong turn and they got attacked by Iraqi forces. Okay, so I have extreme experience with all of this shit, and I remember we couldn't believe that this woman had did the things they said she did. Nobody could. It was like that. She didn't do that, because army soldiers not trained as hardcore to do the things that they claim this woman did. She was scared as shit. Rightfully so. She's a woman in the middle of Iraq, and a white woman at that. So anyway, it says Audie Murphy was used as propaganda in a movie To Hell and Back to show him receiving the Medal of Honor, the highest honor in the United States could give. Murphy disliked the scene and wanted to cut it, but the director convinced him that the movie about America's most decorated hero had to end with Murphy receiving the medal. Murphy was a World War II hero who was awarded every medal for valor the United States offered, along with 3 Purple Hearts. He was known for his courage and refusal to give an inch of ground. One of the most famous actions was when he single-handedly stopped a German attack on January 26, 1945. He ordered his men to fall back to the woods. He covered their withdrawal. He called down artillery to slow the Germans. He climbed onto a burning tank destroyer and used his machine gun to kill over 50 Germans. This nigga was a superhero, bro. This nigga was Superman. And then he had that look. He had that look too, because I had mentioned this chick right here, Shoshana Johnson. She don't got the look of a hero, but she was kidnapped too. She's the only so-called African American woman. I think she's like Caribbean or something like that. She's the only so-called black woman ever to be held as a prisoner of war. Right? They had her up in there, fucked up. You know what I'm saying? She got shot in both her ankles. Her unit was destroyed. They used to have a video on YouTube where they had the video of her whole unit scattered out in a fucking room, bloodied and fucked up. Right? So they made a big deal about Jessica Lynch, but they didn't make no deal about her. This chick, Shoshana Johnson. Right? And this is Jessica Lynch. They were in the same unit. This Jessica Lynch and this is Shoshana Johnson. Right? Look, they got her dressed as a princess, and they got her in this big oversized suit because she ain't the face of a hero, America. Right? So they did the same thing with Audie Murphy. Right? They said this guy killed and shot a whole bunch of people up, caught all these bodies, right? And they gave this dude a fucking shit ton of awards. How you thinking that this dude was a super killer? And he wasn't. He was just a propaganda tool. And I'm sure that real soldiers that really experienced real life dangers, they didn't respect this guy. But he didn't speak out against the propaganda that was being used, like Jessica Lynch did. Right? Little girl Rambo decries U.S. propaganda. It says the former U.S. private Jessica Lynch today condemned what she. Let me make sure we still got sound. We still got sound, brothers. I know I lost a lot of people during the time where it wasn't any sound. So if anybody know the sound is still up, let me know, man. It's fucking crazy, bro. You try to expose this fucking devil, you got to go through all of this shit, man. God, the water, brother. Anyway, back to this. It says the former U.S. private Jessica Lynch today condemned what she said were the Pentagon's efforts to turn her into a little girl Rambo and accused the military chief of using elaborate tales to try to make her into a hero of the Iraq War. Speaking at a congressional hearing on the use of misleading information, and that's what Esau does. He uses misleading information because he's a liar. There's nothing righteous about this man or his military, bro. Ms. Lynch described how she suffered horrific injuries when her vehicle was hit by a rocket near Iraqi town of Nasiriyah in March 2003. And we was just trying to cross into the border, right? She didn't even get to her station. She got attacked, right? Quick, killing several of her companions, right? Which the only Native American woman to die in the Iraq War was her friend that was in a passenger seat. She died, right? Pentagon initially put out. It says Slocky. It says U.S. military has come under criticism for allegedly spitting stories from Iraq and Afghanistan. The hearing is also looking into cases of American football star turned soldier Pat Tillman, who died in a friendly fire incident in Afghanistan in 2004. Right. He was going to expose this devil for what they were doing to the people over there, and they killed him. His own unit killed him, put him to death. Right. And he quit the NFL. He was playing for the Cardinals and shit. just so he can be a super soldier, and he ended up dying for propaganda sake. It says the Pentagon initially put out the story that Private Lynch, a slight woman who was just 19 at the time, just like Audie Murphy was 16 at the time. Audie Murphy in the early 40s, American hero who single-handedly fought off a company. This dude was, where's it at? I had a thing where it said he was 16 years old. Yeah, this dude right here. He was 16 years old, 5'5", and weighed 110 pounds. But he killed 50 men, 50 so-called Germans. He did all of this shooting and killing with all these medals on. Because if you watch the movie To Hell and Back, they got this nigga with all the medals on and shit. They glamorized this dude. They propagandized this guy. Same thing they try to do with Jessica Lynch, but she rolled. She told the truth. With Audie Murphy, he just went along with the lie. All right? The Pentagon initially put out the story that Private Lynch, a slight woman who was just 19 at the time, had been wounded in Iraq by Iraqi gunfire, but kept fighting until her ammunition ran out. In fact, her gun had jammed, and she did not fire a shot. Right? Her weapon was dirty. It was dirty. It was filthy. And then they got you fighting with these fucking M16s, with them old ass fucking Vietnam War era weapons and shit. And they easily jam in the sand. They're not good for that environment. Right? She had never shot her weapon at all. But they made her out to be a superhero. And she got rich. Meanwhile, the nigga woman, she got kidnapped. She looked crazy. Even her fucking braids look wild, man. They made her stand still for pictures, bro. Right? They made her stand still for pictures and shit. They put her on Iraqi news and shit. She was scared as shit. I'm sure she having all kinds of nightmares. Right? She crying and shit. They gave her pajamas. He holding the black woman. But she wasn't a hero. She wasn't made a hero. She looked like Biggie Smalls' mom. But yeah, she wasn't made a hero. You know, and she was a special. She didn't even get no rank. She had to get out the military after that because of what they did to her. She got a tattoo on her back. Former Iraq Johnson living the good life. Yeah, she's through, man. She's out of here. She's out of here, single mom and everything. And yeah, I'm still standing. From captive U.S. soldier to free citizen, my journey home. And they gave her a bullshit ass book deal. They sensationalized that shit too. But they really sensationalized what's her face? The white chick, Jessica Lynch. She had the movie. I ain't never seen no movie by Tyler Perry called the Shoshana Johnson story. But I did see the Jessica Lynch story because it's propaganda. Like, they made this dude a superhero, and he wasn't. And that's all lies, right? Because that's what the man does. Again, this is St. John 10:10. The thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Absolutely. Esau is a thief. He comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. He's a liar. Let's get that. This is St. John chapter 8, verse 43. It says, why do you not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father, the devil, which is the deceiver, slanderer, Esau. In the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and that's all the U.S. military does is murder, 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 doth kill. That's all they do. He abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him. There's no truth in Esau. When he speak of a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Esau is the father of lies. That's what he does. He lies. He steals, he kills, he destroys, right? He employs psychopaths to do his bidding at the highest level. All right? This is what he does. Okay? And the world is none the wiser. When you see this shit, Salakia. You see if the elder had tapped in. No, he didn't tap in. Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? And the hammer of the earth is Esau's military. Right? This is what they do. His military goes about killing and destroying and taking over, right? and they employ murderers, not righteous killers. They employ murderers. They employ psychopaths. They employ sociopaths, rapists, murderers. That's what they do. And it's not until you go into this military and you come out, you realize that you cannot do no good in this military because ain't no good gonna come out of it. It's not a good machine. It's a, look, Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. In the NLT, it says what is wrong cannot be made right, and what is missing cannot be recovered. What's missing from Esau? Righteousness. Right? He was made crooked. He can't be made into straight. He always gonna be doing evil. So from his military to his financial system to his religious arms, that's all wickedness, man. The scripture says about this guy, if he does any, I'll get it real quick. The book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 14, verse 5. I'm sorry, verse 7. It says, and if he doth any good, if he doth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at last he will declare his wickedness. Right. So him talking about they going to the Middle East to take over these enemies, the access to evil, right? They go into the TV. They have you really believing that the war of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan was about a war on terrorism. That's all bullshit. Because in the end, his wickedness is going to show. The lie is going to come out. If he do any good, he do that unwillingly. He don't do that willingly. He does it unwillingly, man. All right. 2 Corinthians 11 and 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And that's what he did. Esau transformed himself into an angel of light or righteousness. And in reality, he's an angel of wickedness and darkness. This is what he does. And the world is none the wiser to it. So Salaki about the audio going out earlier. I'm sorry about that. I didn't have no control of that. I still hope you were edified with this reply video to these special forces. Dudes have to be demons, because you have to be a demon in order to be a high level soldier in America. Right? And so I'll end it off with this. Proverbs 16 and 4 in the NLT from the brother Salvation of the Elect. Yahweh has made everything for his own purpose, even the wicked for the day of disaster. Esau was made wicked for the day of disaster. Right? He was made to be that way. Right? So you can't make him righteous. Right? Nothing he does is going to be righteous. It shouldn't surprise you when he does wickedness, because he's just doing it he's doing what he was created to do. But that doesn't mean we can't refute the lies and bring out the truth. All right. So again, I hope you were edified. Again, Salaki about the audio going out earlier in this lesson. I still hope you were edified and that you were able to get something out of it. Again, this is the reply to these special forces dudes have to be demons. And with that, say shalom on to the next. Shalom.